Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. In my previous video, I was talking about the aspects of sexual intercourse in cross reference to Prakriti and Purusha and their factors and cofactors and various other things. Let's try taking the subject much further. This human existence, as it is related to Prakriti and Purusha, or we call it as, we can say they are the Anshas of Shiva and Parvati, denoted by, resembling, we are representing Prakriti and Purusha. Okay. Now, this sexual intercourse act, which is a natural phenomena which I was talking about, one really needs to understand from the karma point of view. Karma or those deeds during the advent or during the time frame this male and female exists on its earthly existence. Let me not touch about the DNA, RNA, or whatever it is. Let me try explaining you the phenomena of the sexual intercourse, what really happens during that period of time, and what is that time and space travel, these both as counterparts. We need to understand this, ladies and gentlemen, before even understanding the beauty, definition of beauty and its functionalities wide and large, how you take and what you take. We karma. Let's come to the karmic acts or the actions. Karma, if you really see, if you break it up as per science of sound or Sanskrit language, takara, akara, rakara, akara, makara, akara. If you see akara, ukara, makara being the omkara aspect, that is the highest level. So now let's look at this. What are the different types of karmas? Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, kriyamana karma, agama karma. Now, all of this, if we really look at Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, these are something that exist and coexist. Prarabdha being the previous births. Whatever it is. If that is what you call in your previous birth, if you are born and if you are having those qualities and all, that's okay. Prarabdha, that comes from the birth. Sanchita karma, whereas, is that karma which you do in this birth. Kriyamana karma is something which you do at a conscious level. If you really see Sanchita, Prarabdha, Kriyamana, and Agama, these are again the Bijaksharas that are existing in the Matrakanyasas. And speciality, or whatever it is, if you take like the internal meaning of it is getting to Makara again. That is the highest level at a conscious level. And base for understanding all of these, or this karmic or karma or whatever it is that I am talking about, is male and female relationship. If that stops there, it could have been better. This earthly existence would have been better. But that doesn't stop. That does not stop there. Relationship. Relationship starts from the enchanting point of view and attracting point. And attracting again is based on beauty. And if this stops here, well and good. But this does not stop here. Once you start getting attracted, that's when the sparsha aspect comes into picture. Sparsha, or you want to touch that, enjoy that, right? Sparsha, that skin touch, that softness, whatever you say. And these four karmas are what actually like factors and cofactors. Again, benefactor being Prakriti here, no doubt about it. If Prakriti was not there, these karma, Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, Kriyamana karma, Agama karma will not come. Ladies and gentlemen, understand this. Now, let's look at the other aspect. Prakriti has three different innate or qualities. Okay. Which is what is equilibrium. It is equilibrium in all states. It distributes its love and affection to one and all, by and large, equally. It does not have any kind of reservations for that. Panchabhutas being the very active, these Panchabhutas really act for both male and female counterpart again. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala. Both Purusha and Prakriti, male and female, should remember that they are at the highest level of pure awareness and meta physical consciousness. Why metaphysical consciousness? This metaphysical consciousness is nothing but this is the first layer, as I was explaining. Terrestrial layer, interterrestrial layer, intraterrestrial layer, extraterrestrial layer, ultimate terrestrial layer. And this is the ultimate again when it comes to the earthly existence. This is the level. Now, as I was speaking about all of this, first let's try understanding why I told sexual intercourse act is innate and it is predominant and it is very much important for both male and female counterpart from the view of Prakriti and Purusha aspect as well. See, we need to understand what really happens during the sexual intercourse of male and female or Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha has one thing, which is Siemens. That fluid, which has all the qualities of soul. Soul again is the same for both Prakriti and Purusha. Soul has the soul can neither be created nor destroyed. Neither it nobody knows it's why it is so. That is a very much research point over here, which one needs to understand. And one needs to understand all this happens at a conscious state of mind. Absolute conscious state of mind. In the very much serene and tranquilized environment. And that is the reason why, if you really see the confluence of, Manmadha's getting to Bhasma, here we need to take from the spiritual point of view. Let's say, like, I am seeing someone sitting both together and talking. That is also a spiritual confluence. And here is where one needs to understand that time travel, time and space travel. This is what is called Bindu Kala. I'm not talking about Nada Bindu Kala. Nada Bindu Kala is again totally different. That is for the from the level of psyche or psychology. Okay. Now, on contrary, if you really see the very operations of male and female, okay, the very operations of male and female, what really happens at the level. The point is, at this point in time, it goes through various levels at conscious state, subconscious state, semi-subconscious state, super conscious state, super subconscious state, ultimate conscious state again. And this travels all through Mooladhara to Shastra. How does this energy get, this energy, so-called Urja, so-called fire, gets emitted? That is again so-called attraction and the beauty aspect. How do you define this again? Right? One needs to have that fire or, that coming in. This Prakriti or Stree or woman or embodiment of Mother Goddess or Lalita, who is abundant with love and affection, ever sympathetic, always having that compassion for the child, filled with purified joy, purified happiness at core. One needs to understand the anatomy of the female over here. The anatomy of the female or woman or Stree or Prakriti is vaginal part, fetus, two breasts, two eyes. This fetus, on contrary, if you really see, during the intercourse, when Purusha does that intercourse act, there is a semen that oozes out of the pineal gland, okay? And that goes through the vaginal gland of the female. That's the entry part. That is what is Mooladhara. And from there, it goes to fetus, where during that time and space travel of male and female, this sexual intercourse of male and female or men and women is nothing but that time travel. If you do the same from the sensual beauty point of view or the infatuated point of view, it doesn't make any sense, right? So that is the reason why I keep on telling the sexual intercourse act has been taken in a wrong sense. This is one very much a supreme bliss and a spiritual act which makes sure that procreated Anu or Paramanu or that procreation keeps this life cycle moving on. On contrary, this female, so-called Prakriti, once this during the intercourse, this male counterpart does the act, whatever that is happening, doing the time travel. This so-called semen sprouts out, and whole of the energy, impure energy or impurities that this male or the Purusha is having is filtered, that is removed. And the pure energy again comes into this Purusha's body. And this Prakriti takes, Prakriti or female takes. Let's talk about the two breasts, right and left breast. Okay. The uh, 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 the right breast, which is more or less having those energy forces which reactivates the Purusha and cleanses the body of the Purusha from the conscious at a higher conscious level. Though this happens parallelly at the Prakriti's as well. I will explain you, I will tell you how it happens. Okay. Now, once this is done at a right part, wherein the energy sources which are stored in the breasts, and that is the reason why you see the two bulges, female's breast bulges, right? And how this energy is passed through the nipples of the female, which is wherein there is a small hole. There that energy comes up. And the left breast, which has all the knowledge, Paravidya, Aparavidya, Vidya, Avidya, Amsha, Niramsha, you name it, whatever. That is oozed out of that nipple again, there. For the Purusha. And this is the reason why three woman or female or Prakriti is given that highest level, even in Vedas and Upanishads. That is the reason why they say Akhila Anda Koti Brahmanda Naika. And that is the abundance of knowledge that woman holds. That is the reason why Akhila Anda Koti means crores. Brahmanda. At Indanda Pindanda level. Like this, there are many knowledges that this female holds. And Prakriti's lips, Prakriti or Mother Goddess, or you say whatever, Lalita Devi, her lips give out that supreme knowledge vocally. And during that serene and tranquil state, where it is given to that Purusha, male counterpart. Here again, this is a Sambhashana of Prakriti and Purusha, Shiva and Parvati. Shiva is asking questions to Parvati Devi, Parvati is asking questions to Shiva. as to how exactly this human existence or this earthly existence should be. Again, those two jnana chakshus which are there, they are extraordinary for Prakriti. For male also, it is there, those jnana chakshus or whatever this is. Pancha jnanendriyas are there. But specifically for Prakriti, this is one thing. And she emits those from her jnana chakshus to this Purusha. During the intercourse, this is what happens between male and female. And that is the reason why male and female counterparts are considered to be Prakriti and Purusha. So far, intercourse happened. You are having, they are having that sensual enjoyment, that sensual, that sensitive enjoyment of that act. During this period or during these actions, what happens is the impurities in the Purusha or the male goes away, wipes up. And the purified substance again comes back to male. And on contrary, all of this happened and thus zygote is for zygote or that anu and parmanu or that procreated individual forms. Where does this get stored? In the fetus of the female. This fetus is something like a pot. It has lot of space, which we need to understand. And it creates a place for this fetus, for this zygote or for this egg that is formed due to the sperm or semens. Semens of the male counterpart or Purusha is having all the qualities. And this is where Nirakara Swarupa or Akara Swarupa needs to be understood from the spiritual point. And that is the reason why I say the sexual act or the sexual intercourse act is all about understanding the very nature of consciousness from the behavioral point of view, from the psyche point of view, from the psychological point of view, from the psychometry point of view, from the psychiatry point. This phenomena is so complex that to this day, nobody really is able to figure out what is there in that fluid which passes through the pineal gland and passes through the pineal gland and gets through the vaginal gland. And incidentally, both of them are at the Mooladhara. And both of the energy sources travel through travel right through Mooladhara to Sahasrara. And this menses are the periods which happen for the female counterpart or the prakriti part. To remove those impurities, impure thoughts or improve or impure whatever it is, during this five days time. And this is again the the male counterpart does this time and space travel with the female counterpart at a given time in the serene and tranquil time. But this female does specially, specifically, and at a highest level during that 5 days time. And this humanoid or the human existence, which is classified into male and female, has that fluid called blood, which gets converted to Siemens during the sexual intercourse or during the time he or he gets that urja or that fire deep within to get injected in the female or that prakriti. So if you really look at it, it's so complex that this act, considering this act or considering this phenomenon, this divine phenomenon, this spiritual act phenomena, how can a medical field think of transforming male to female, female to male, and creating that disturbance in the ecosystem? Think about it. It is a question that I am directly asking this medical fraternity. And how can artificial intelligence, who are producing robots and nanotechnologies, think of creating robots from the emotional and intelligence point of view, ladies and gentlemen? Don't you think it's a very hard concept? And in fact, Natya Shastra, when it was done, when it was being told by Natya Brahma or Natya Sutra Dhara to Parvati Devi or the Jagat Janani, this is one key aspect, and for all of these to understand, one needs to go through Raga Dvesha Mada Mascharya. When Shankaracharya was asked about the intercourse, he took 41 days time. भज गोविंदम मूढ़मते संप्राप्ते सन्निहित काले नहीं नहीं रक्षति दुर्गुणकर्णे. And he came up with the concept of Ekoham Shivam, Aham Brahmasmi. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very hard concept. Stay blessed. Have a real blissful life. May the Guru's grace be with you. Have a nice day ahead.